Do you want a treat? Do you want a treat? Oh, I think he does. Let's go.
There's an excellent first course for the believers, but moths are the main dish. The moths are very important to believers, for they will replenish the fat reserves that believers need to survive the barren dry season. As the alternation of wet and dry seasons brings change in the tropical forests, so the progression of summer to winter dictates life in the forest. It is their ability to survive annual change that has enabled them to cover such vast areas of the earth and made the seasonal forest the greatest forest.
Good boy. Alright, try to take your time with this one, okay? Try to chew it. That was a weak chew. I don't know about that, Bagheera. Lately I've been glowed up. Take the finest soda. Here's the thing. Whenever somebody says some stupid shit to me at Amazon about wearing my mask, about managers or warnings, or whenever somebody says some stupid shit to me, they come at me with some low vibe nonsense. I spend like 15 to I don't know, 15 to 30 to maybe 60 minutes like talking and having imaginary conversations in my head about my own like low vibe nonsense. All that we should focus on is God. Like, it's so fucking simple. All of our problems are non-existent if all that we focus on is God. Because then we in order to do that, to have that kind of focus, it goes hand, like, in order to do that, you need to put in the work, and then by putting in the work, you earn that freedom. So how do we focus on God? Well, we breathe, because the breath is our. So this is the thing. The breath is this really trippy shit when you actually think about it, because as human beings, but as a soul, live like as an invisible. Humans have a visible and then invisible identity, and that invisible identity is our true nature. That's our true. That's everlasting. It's the ultimate reality, and so the purpose of life is to stay connected with, like, rooted in that true self, that true identity of love, of light, of pure bliss. That's our natural state, is pure bliss. But you gotta think about it. If you don't eat the right food, how do you possibly how can you possibly expect to experience divine God vibrations? Okay, we're not talking about human vibrations. We're talking about going beyond that to have pure divine vibrations, to have that experience, to embody that. How could you possibly expect to embody that if you don't eat the right food at the right times in moderation? If your physical diet is not where it needs to be, then your physical body will not be where it needs to be. It won't be able to perform to the best of its ability, and it won't be able to recover, and it will have limitations. God is like the definition. God is infinity itself. It is by nature limitless. So if you want there to be no separation between you and God, then you can't really be a human. You have to. Now, that can be taken. I don't need to even. So there is an issue with getting too far disconnected from the body. You need proper balance in order to be, because we are human. But mentally, we want to be free. So the breath is this crazy shit where it connects our internal environment with the external environment. Like we're constantly breathing in that external environment through the body into the internal environment because we're breathing up and down the spine. The chakras, the spine, our energetic body, that's our true like self. When we're connected with the chakras, we're connected with our highest purpose, our highest potential, highest potential for insight, our highest capability to serve God in creation. Is this filming? Okay, sorry, it was like giving me a weird. Physical yoga purifies, balances, and calms the physical body. Pranayama balances, calms, purifies the mind. Mantras do the same thing for the mind. And mantras actually, pranayama purifies the mind, and then mantras set the vibration. In the same way that music can set a certain vibration, especially when you're breathing and your breath is connected to that external environment, you bring that into your internal environment and you set that mentally for like, if I'm feeling lazy or whatever at work, if I'm feeling like I need something, I'll put on a certain song just for like 10 seconds and like breathe with it, and I'll set that. Or I'll put on like a meditative thing if I'm trying to be more like divine feminine kind of. Mantras do this, but it's all for the purpose of setting our vibration for love, for truth, for service, for virtuous action. So when we do physical yoga, and the body is where it needs to be, the body is in alignment with its highest potential. And then mentally, we do our yoga through breathing techniques, through meditation, connecting, practicing with the chakras. And then when we get tranquility, we either chant, sing, just say internally whatever mantra we're trying to get. So today we're going to go Om Shanti Om. We're just going to say it like that. And it's literally this simple. Visualize the first 11 vertebrae. There's 33 vertebrae going from the bottom of the spine up to like basically where it connects to the brain. Visualize the first one, and then the first 10 that stack on top of it. Exhale completely. And then when you feel like you've finished exhaling, hold your breath at the bottom for 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Feel that first vertebrae. feel it in the same way that you feel your fingers when they move. Now fill the little space in between those 10 vertebrae with air. And pause. Observe how that feels to breathe into the spine. Feels lovely. Exhale slowly down to the bottom vertebrae. Om Shanti Om. So that's one breath. That would be my root chakra. Fill the vertebrae with air, but this time, focus on love. Think about something that makes you feel love, and then inhale that feeling. Don't let that feeling just pass by like a thought. Let it stay with you. Inhale that feeling into the spine. As you exhale, instead of lifting up from the top of the head or like lifting up through the spine or like trying to ground your spine, try to tuck the base of your spine just a little bit in. Focus on the alignment of your knees. Feel from your toes in through your hips if you're sitting the way that I'm sitting. But then focus most of your like physical energy on lifting up from the space right where the neck starts to connect to the skull all the way around in the back. And just gently tuck your chin a little bit. Don't look forward. Just tuck the chin a little bit. Om Shanti Om. All right, so this is another way. So that's one way to do it. Om Shanti Om. Another way that you can do it is to exhale. Just exhale for like a second or two so you don't feel like you're starting from where you're holding your breath. At the top, you want to focus intensely on observing pure silence. You let because you have something to focus on when you're breathing in, you're breathing out. At the top, you have nothing to focus on, so thoughts are naturally going to come to you. Focus intensely on observing that silence, observing the feeling of the breath. I haven't breathed in for I'm getting that like breath retention halo. Another way to do it is to exhale just a little bit and then to chant Om Shanti Om for the entirety of the rest of your exhale and that pause at the end. At that pause at the end of the breath, you want to surrender with gratitude. Thank you, God. I love you. So, Om Shanti Om. when you focus on that silence at the top of the breath, that's when you can actually feel the transformation taking place because you've inhaled that vibration that you put out into the world. Be the change that you wish to see in the world. Om Shanti. And then that's basically prayer. You've cleared your mind. Oh, and the balance. We didn't do our pranayama. In order to find balance in life, we have right and left arm, right and left lung, right and left brain as human beings. And we need to, if we want to rise above feeling like a human, then we need to acknowledge the fact that we are human and that we need to be purified. Mind, body, spirit. You reach your highest potential spiritually simply by reaching your highest potential physically and mentally. So we exhale completely. And let me think. I don't think I need to give any more explanation to this. This creates balance physically and mentally so that we can breathe into the spine more efficiently. Are you taking Bagheera with you? Doesn't matter. The thing about being present is that to truly be present, everything else truly doesn't matter. But when everything else that we could possibly think of is in the category of truly doesn't matter, so I truly don't give a fuck about it, I've truly forgotten about it, that's what makes the present moment so sacred. That's what allows us to appreciate it so much. And then with appreciation comes, things to be appreciative of. Yeah, I guess I've taken it with. All right. All you need to do in order to find balance and stillness, breathe in one side, breathe out the other, be grateful. And you don't even have to think of anything you're grateful for. Thank you, God. I love you. What if we practice this 5 times a day? Thank you, God. I love you. You lose focus for a second. That's the cool thing about this. Cool thing about this specific technique is that aside from, thank you, God, I love you. Aside from what it does for you ultimately as far as balance goes, physically when you're actually doing it, it doesn't give you a choice to forget about it while you're doing it. You have to remember to switch at the top. If you breathe in one side but you're not focused, then you might breathe out that side, and that kind of messes with the flow. So you have to be focused. So physically and mentally, you have something to do. And what you are focused on is creating balance internally. When we feel truly balanced, it is almost impossible not to smile. Like, at least internally. You don't always have to be smiling externally, but internally, when we're truly balanced, this shit is easy. Everything I just explained, everything that we just practiced together, this shit is easy. The only thing that's not easy is, and it's simple, like eating healthy is simple. The only thing that's not easy is being disciplined. Being disciplined is something that earns you a great deal of respect in this life, because it is something that barely any human ever has been able to master. Being disciplined in a way that allows us to get everything that we could possibly need to practice into every day, so that we can truly live like our beyond our wildest dreams highest potential. We all have a superhero inside of us, but we bullshit ourselves because we think that it's acceptable to be average, to be in alignment with what is common in society. We think that that's acceptable. That's bullshit. That is bullshit, because we're about to become slaves in a way that, like, listen, it's just, it is what it is. Like, this is human nature. You have to forget about politics and about what you want to believe and about, we are like creating a prison, each one of us, a cell for ourselves, through our bad habits, through our lack of discipline. So now that we have found balance, we have calmed mind, may we be disciplined. May we choose to be great. I just told these people at the dog park, I'm trying to change the world. Multiple people at the dog park. I just got this guy's card. We can all be great leaders. And if we want to be parents, but we don't want to be great leaders, that's incredibly weak, and it earns you zero respect in this life. If you want to be a parent, then you should be a bad motherfucker. You should be someone that inspires people everywhere you go. You should be a superhero.